Hi, my name is Anelli Cabrera. I'm 17 years old, and I'm right now fighting brain cancer. But funny thing is, it's a rare cancer, so it's like out of 1.5% people have it. Like out of 1,000 people, a few of those 1,000 people have it, and it's called germinoma or elder germinoma. There's like two, so you gotta research it. Thankfully, I don't have an aggressive cancer. The cancer that I have is sister, the elder germinoma, where I basically won't die, hopefully, because I had a biopsy where they took out most of my cancer, and my cancer isn't just specifically one tumor. It's 3 tumors. It's in my optic nerve, my pituitary, and then there's a third one that's in between, but it's hanging. So it's not in a specific dangerous area. It's just an addition to it. So because of this cancer, there's a chance I can go blind. And thankfully, because they took out a lot of the cancer, I have a chance to see. When they did the biopsy, they told me that I may have to do radiation or chemo, and that could the radiation can make my eyes worse, or the chemo can hurt my body, but it just all depends on if it's really aggressive cancer, or if it's not as aggressive, where I could be safe. When I had my surgery, or before I had my surgery, I had this constant fear of knowing that I would feel pain. And even though I had that fear of having pain, I think when I finally got into the hospital, my fear was basically the moment I go into surgery. So this lady would constantly poke me with needles, and I hate needles. God damn, I hate needles. But she kept constantly poking me, and I was already getting anxious. And the doctor came in and he said, "Hey, yeah, we're changing the schedule or the plan. It's not going to be a tiny one. It's going to be a huge one." And sadly, it's from right here all the way to my ear, and it affected my eardrum. I mean, I'm a little more sensitive towards hearing, but I think it's because I'm blind, like partially blind. But it scared me. The fact that I was going into surgery. Before I went into surgery, they took me to a room and they put a mask over me. And the first thing I thought of was, God, I'm not angry, and I'm not frustrated with you. I'll accept anything you give me till the end. If I die, if I'm sick, if I'm not even me anymore, I'll accept it. Because I don't want to fight it. I don't want to fight what's going to happen. I don't want to argue and hate everyone because I'm in pain. I know it's happening. So I held it. I kept my feelings pure and constant. And I did it for my family. I didn't want them to suffer. And then I would hold my feelings. I wanted them to know that if I'm strong, they could be strong too. That we would go at it together. So when I fell asleep towards those words, I woke up, and funny thing, I wasn't fully awake. They would say, "Anelli, wake up." And I'm like, "Huh?" And then it's like, "Breathe, you're not breathing." And I'm like, it's fine. And then I'd hear them say, "Breathe." And I'm like, I don't want to, I'm comfortable. So I'd constantly stop breathing and just go sleep. There was a point where I had to wake up. So I was like, okay. And then I constantly would keep breathing until, finally got over it and woke up. And when I realized, when I woke up, I saw my mom, and I looked at her, and I think it was because I had so much shock and energy that I told my mom, I can see you, Mom. I can see you. I can see you. Because my doctors would tell me constantly that after this biopsy, I could go blind. My tumors would inflame or expand, or I don't know, get bigger because you cut them. I forgot the word. For some reason I can't remember. But they would get big, and my eyes would get worse. But I was able to see. They took out so much. They took out so much of the tumor that it didn't affect my eyes. So if they pulled out the tumor where it's in my optic nerve, I would have gone blind completely. And there's no way out of that, because they peeled it off, and that could have damaged my eyes. It's like this. Optic nerve, eyes. If they peel it, I go, not fun. So I woke up and I was full of energy. And I was so excited. But the fact that I was in pain bothered me. The fact that I was immobile bothered me. The fact that I couldn't do things on my own, and that a nurse had to come by and put a bucket underneath me, and then, I don't know, stick what are those things called? The little tubes that, while you have the surgery, stick the tube up there, up my lady part, and then my catheter, whatever the hell that is. Okay, I think I felt that. Okay, I peed and I felt something sting. That must have been it. Okay, that was not fun. Okay, I do not like the idea that they sabotage me while I'm asleep. Oh. Okay, but I wasn't comfortable with the idea that I couldn't move. There were moments where I was asleep. My mom was asleep, and I would try to get out of bed without her. She would hear the creaking sound. She'd wake up instantly. Frustrates me because I didn't want her to bother me. But I would try to crawl my way to the restroom, and I hated the fact that they had to help me. When I finally got home, my dad was in the living room and my mom would be asleep. And I'm like, okay, it's now my chance. So finally, for the first time, I was able to go to the restroom by myself, and I felt like I succeeded at something. I'm like, I can do this. And I was so happy. But there was one extremely painful situation that I think I'm still traumatized by. I'm afraid of needles, but this made things hella worse. I got a blood clot shot, and I will tell you, this lady probably did not like me, because she pinched my skin, left a bruise, and then stabbed me without even saying anything. And I swear that pain lasted 30 minutes, and that was not fun. And because of how afraid I was from the pain, the second time I got the shot, I was already, thankfully, none of my family members were there other than my mom and dad. Because if they saw me how I acted, they would have been horrified. I was literally crying, wailing, saying, "Don't touch me, please. I don't want this. I can't take this. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt me. I'm going to cry. I'm scared. I'm too scared to do this. It's like, I don't need this." And the lady said, you need this. You can die from this. You'd be in danger. And my mom would hold my hands, and she wasn't squeezing me, but she would say, "Just look at me and talk to me." And the lady would lift up my shirt. I thank her so much for not hurting me. She got the needle and she slid it very slowly, and I didn't feel a thing. But because of the fear from the pain, I was already trembling and crying. And even if she left 20 minutes after she left, I would still be trembling and crying in the same position. And my mom would look at me and she's like, "It's okay, she left." And I'm like, I can't. It's still in me. So I think I learned two things from this. I know that it's good to be brave. It's good to be brave to keep things strong for your family. But when you feel like you're at the weakest, when you feel like you're weak, just let it out. Because I held in my feelings for a year and no, 2 years. I held in all my pain. And it's finally getting to me. Everything that I felt. every pain, every sorrow, every suffer. There were things you wouldn't believe. And I'm going to write a book about it, like, kind of, because I can't really see lines, so it's going to be messy. But I'm going to tell you everything that I did, every crazy thing I did to get my life going. Now I'm finally releasing everything to my family, and I'm expressing myself. And I'm so happy I am, because I've been in so much pain since. But it's, even though you're being strong, even if you're being brave, sometimes holding it in isn't good. And I want people to know, kids who maybe have this cancer, to know that you don't have to hide what you feel. You don't have to be strong constantly, because you have your family, you have your support. And you don't have to be angry at the world. You don't have to be angry. Because sometimes, like, look I got chunky. I got hella chunky. I got braces, okay? I look like a horse with, like, broken teeth, okay? I have a bad hairline now, probably balding, and, you know, I have to take, like, 50 pills a day. So I adjust. But you learn something from this. You get strong from this. You feel like you have this sensation where you have something people won't have. You can have a feeling that, like, if you meet a kid who's just like you can say, I know how you feel. We have something special, like a special bond. And I feel like I have a special bond with my cancer, because it teaches me something. It brought my family together. It brought happiness in my brothers, my dad. I feel like we have never been this close before. And I think we needed this. Maybe there was a reason I got cancer, maybe there isn't. But there was a benefit from this. And I was happy. I'm happy from that. I know I'm not probably going to graduate with everyone. I know I'm not going to experience things normal kids will. And at least I get to experience things other kids feel. The kids that have cancer. Because all my life, I felt like I needed to do something special. And I felt I'm too scared to do Taekwondo, or I'm not strong enough, you know, to win a competition. I'm not even smart enough to get a 4.0. But I feel like I needed to do something within my family. And I wanted to bring our family together. And now that I have this cancer, I feel like we are. So, my name is Anelli again. And for those of you who are watching, you have an understanding of what the pain is, the purity, the happiness, everything. I want you to know that. Thank you.